Well, if you've watched the first 2 episodes of our brand new series, you're probably thinking of the letters M and R, but P also hides some wonderful footballers who have worked wonders on the pitch. And if you want to find out more about them, stay tuned. You won't regret it. 10. Lucas Paqueta. First up is West Ham's Lucas Paqueta. The most striking thing about this Brazilian footballer is his Joga Bonito style of play. Often performing feints, flicks and tricks on the pitch, Paqueta is a firm favourite with the supporters, and not just those of the Hammers. And like any player who loves the Joga Bonito, he likes to celebrate in the typical Brazilian fashion, by dancing, as he did after scoring at the World Cup with teammates Rafinha, Neymar and Vinicius. When it comes to his playing career, however, there's a lot to be said about him. Paqueta joined West Ham in the summer of 2022 and has made an impressive 84 appearances in the last 2 seasons, putting in some pretty good figures for his mid-table team. 12 goal contributions in 22-23 and 15 this campaign. Interestingly, Paqueta is also a fan favourite of Man City manager Pep Guardiola, who was keen to have him in his squad last summer, but a move failed to materialise. However, it could well happen in the coming months, with West Ham reportedly setting a price of at least €80 million. It could certainly be an interesting transfer with Paqueta, as we wait to see if he will sign for the 4 consecutive Premier League title holders. 9. Mauricio Pochettino. Yes, that might come as a surprise to you, as the former Chelsea boss is currently, or should I say was currently, a very popular name when it comes to his managerial career, having been in charge of Tottenham, Southampton and PSG. But did you know that Mauricio also had a fine career as a player, having enjoyed 2 spells at Espanyol during the Spanish team's golden years at the turn of the century, as well as at PSG, where he rubbed shoulders with the likes of legends Mikel Arteta, Gabriel Heinze and Ronaldinho. The defender began his career in a team that is very familiar to Messi fans. That's right. Both Argentinians began their professional career at Newell's Old Boys, as Pochettino did between 1989 and 1994, where he was the cornerstone of their defensive line. He won the Argentine Championship in 1991 and played in the 1992 Copa Libertadores final. In 1994, he made his move to La Liga side Espanyol. At the time, regional rivals Barcelona were the giants of Europe, but Espanyol managed the impossible, winning the Copa del Rey in 2000. Well, Pochettino actually has 2 Spanish Cups in his trophy case, the second of which he won with Espanyol again. That came in 2006, when Pochettino returned to the Spanish side to bring his career to a close. In between his 2 spells in Spain, Poch played for PSG, with the Intertoto Cup in 2001 being his greatest achievement for the Parisians. 8. Lucas Podolski. And with the next name on our list, we raised the bar considerably and put the ball in Lucas Podolski's court. Yes, everyone remembers the World Cup he won with Germany in 2014. But before we talk about that, let's let you in on a little secret. Podolski still plays football, which may come as a surprise to some of you, especially those who haven't followed his career with Polish side Górnik Zabrze. Although he was born in Poland, he started his professional career in Germany playing for Cologne. Then, after 3 seasons, 81 games and 46 goals for the German club, he caught the eye of Bayern Munich. And like most top talent in Germany, he joined the Bavarians. However, his time in Munich wasn't particularly successful on an individual level, as he scored only 15 goals in 71 Bundesliga appearances. And after winning a domestic treble of the Bundesliga, German Cup and German League Cup in 07-08, he had another 3-year spell in Cologne before making his dream move to the Premier League, where he wore the colours of Arsenal between 2012 and 2015. His time with the Gunners is arguably his most memorable period, winning the FA Cup and the Community Shield in 2014. Yes, that year was the most successful for him, as he won the World Cup as well, but he wasn't very influential for Germany, only playing in the group stage win over the USA and Portugal. 7. Paul Pogba. Next up is one of the most wasted talents of this generation, Paul Pogba. The Frenchman was a truly incredible player in his prime, which is largely considered to be between 2015 and 2018. In those seasons, Pogba played in a World Cup final, a Champions League final, and won plenty of praise for his performances at Juventus, Man United, and the French national team. Many believe it was the Red Devils who wasted him, but the fact is that Pogba simply didn't have the work ethic and discipline to fulfill his potential. And then there is the 4-year doping ban until 2028, which probably means we'll never see him on the pitch again. However, if you take a quick look at his career, he was truly magisterial with the ball at his feet. His best season was 2014-15 when he played in the Champions League final with Juventus. Despite the defeat to Barcelona, the Frenchman was one of the best midfielders in the world. Pogba's excellent form led to a €100 million move to Manchester United to take his career to the next level. Instead, however, his time with the Red Devils was marked by ups and downs. Nevertheless, his first 2 campaigns at Old Trafford were very positive, and that was the most important thing for him, so that he could go into the 2018 World Cup in fine form and lead the French midfield to glory. From there, however, it was all downhill as his career draws to a close. 6. Pedro Rodriguez. Who is the most underrated Barcelona legend of all time? Well, although many footballers such as Rakitic, Ter Stegen, or even Luis Figo could be considered, Pedro is definitely up there. The Tenerife-born winger joined the Barcelona academy at the age of 17, before making his professional debut in 2008 when he was 21. And despite the presence of the likes of Thierry Henry, Leo Messi, and Samuel Eto'o in the Barcelona squad at the time, Pedro quickly found his place in the team. It is fair to say that Pedro wasn't a Barca superstar, but he understood his role in the team so well that he stayed at the Nou Camp for 8 years and is now one of the greatest Barca legends of the 21st century. Just remember his crucial goals in the 2011 Champions League final or the 2015 Super Cup final. And by the way, an interesting fact. To this day, Pedro is the Barca player with the fastest hat-trick in history, scoring in 9 minutes in a 5-2 win over Getafe in 2013. Overall, Pedro finished his Barca days with 99 goals and 62 assists in 321 appearances, and is currently entering the twilight of his career at Lazio. 5. Pepe. And from Pedro, we move on to a player who has faced him dozens of times in El Clasico over the past 15 years, when the two were at Barca and Real Madrid respectively. Yeah, Pepe was part of Los Blancos for 10 seasons, between 2007 and 2017, and gave Pedro plenty of nightmares with his interceptions and tackles. Widely regarded as one of the best centre-backs in Real Madrid's history, Pepe was truly a solid player who always stepped up when Madrid needed him. He also formed a fearsome partnership with Sergio Ramos in the early 2010s in the back line. In those 10 years at the Santiago Bernabeu, Pepe made a total of 343 appearances for Real Madrid, winning everything. His 3 La Liga titles, 3 Champions Leagues, 2 Club World Cups, and of course, the Euro 2016 trophy are just a small part of his rich trophy case. Having proved himself to be one of the best in the world, he spent a season with Turkish side Besiktas before returning to Porto, where he has now played for 9 seasons and made 230 appearances. 4. Emmanuel Petit. The next best player who starts with the letter P is Emmanuel Petit, a fantastic and reliable player. Petit was one of the most important players in France's golden generation that won the World Cup in 1998. As well as his brilliant defensive solidity, he was also remembered for his wonderful long-range shot. Primarily a defensive player, Petit began his career in Monaco where he spent 9 years and became a club legend. Unfortunately, his longevity at the club wasn't rewarded as he only won 2 trophies with Monaco, the Ligue 1 title and the French Cup. Nevertheless, Petit moved to Arsenal in 1997, winning the Premier League and the FA Cup in his first season in London as part of an incredible Arsenal side, together with the likes of Tony Adams, Dennis Bergkamp and Ian Wright. A month later, Petit added the World Cup to his trophy cabinet, making 1998 the most successful year of his career. He moved to Barca in the summer of 2000, but his role there was not one in which he felt comfortable. He was forced to play at centre-back, and combined with a few minor injuries he suffered, Petit's spell at Barca was a failure. In 2001, at the age of 31, He wanted to end his career on a high and chose Chelsea. And while many would argue that that was a mistake for Petit, he was in fact part of the Blues' turnaround at the turn of the century. 3. Gerard Piqué. In number 3, we meet one of the most iconic defenders in Barcelona history and one of the most controversial figures in football. Piqué retired in 2022, but the final year of his career was riddled with scandal and negative comments about him, most notably from his ex-wife Shakira, with whom he reportedly split at the end of the 21-22 season. He also felt that he no longer had anything to contribute to Xavi's side, making way for young defenders Ronald Araujo and Jules Koundé to take up the baton at the back. Speaking of his legacy on the pitch, he has certainly defined an era with Barcelona in both Spain and Europe. However, before making his professional debut with the Catalans, Piqué spent 3 seasons at Man United, where he won the Champions League and Premier League, albeit without making much of an impact. However, the same cannot be said for his time at Barcelona, where he became the club's most decorated defender in the club's history. 3 Champions League, 9 La Ligas, 7 Copa del Rey trophies, and many more. He was also instrumental in Spain's successes in 2010 and 2012, when they won the World Cup and the Euros consecutively, without missing a single minute in the 13 games of both tournaments. 2. Michel Platini. An exceptional player, but also somehow underrated. Michel Platini was one of the most iconic footballers of the 70s and 80s. Platini enjoyed remarkable success with every club he played for, but his most memorable period was with the Italian giant Juventus, where he won 2 Serie A titles and the European Cup in 1985. Known for his exceptional vision, pinpoint passing and free-kick ability, Platini scored 41 goals in 72 appearances for France, leading them to victory in the 1984 European Championship, where he finished as the tournament's top goalscorer, finding the net 9 times. It was also a very special tournament for France, as it was the first major tournament in their history. Platini was also the first player to win the Ballon d'Or 3 times in a row, from 1983 to 1985, underlining his dominance in world football. After retiring from playing and coaching France for 4 years, he served as UEFA president until 2015. Despite the controversies of his administrative career, Platini's legacy as a player remains untouched, and he is still remembered for his elegance and profound influence on the game. 1. Pelé. Anyone surprised? The baller of all ballers in today's episode, Pelé, the king of football, widely regarded as the greatest of them all, regardless of what Messi, Maradona, and Cristiano Ronaldo have achieved in their careers. Actually gives you thought. Do you think Pelé has even the slightest edge over the other 3? Focus on the Brazilian's career. Pelé won 3 World Cups, a feat still unrivaled in football, and is one of the very few players in history to score over 1,000 goals in his career. Even in the 60s and 70s, when it was very difficult to make an impression outside the football tribune without the help of social networks and the internet, Pelé still managed to make an impact not only as a footballer, but with something more. He was a global football icon and a symbol of the beautiful game. A global ambassador for the sport, helping its development around the world. He spent most of his playing career with his boyhood club Santos before moving to the defunct MLS side, New York Cosmos. And this was all for today, guys. As we said, you can give your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe to the GOF for more of this insane and unique football content. Keep it simple, guys, and catch you in the next one. Seriously, GOF, who's better out of those 4 players, mate? I can't pick between them.